Chapter 13 of the World English Bible. Seems we are still following Abram. Let's see what he gets up to with all these people he's bringing around with him. Last time, him and his wife pulled a scam on the Pharaoh. They were successful. The Pharaoh eventually discovered it and just kicked him out. Didn't kill him, didn't punish him, didn't take anything from him. They just left. How nice. Abram went up out of Egypt, he, his wife, all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south. Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver and in gold. He went on his journeys from the south as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. There Abram called on Yahweh's name. Lot also, who went with Abram, had flocks, herds, and tents. The land was not able to bear them, that they might live together, for their possessions were so great that they couldn't live together. They just had so much shit. Not enough space. There was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. The Canaanites and the Perizzites lived in the land at that time. Abram said to Lot, "Please, let there be no strife between you and me, and between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, for we are relatives. Isn't the whole land before you? Please separate yourself from me. If you go to the left hand, then I will go to the right, or if you go to the right hand, then I will go to the left." Lot lifted up his eyes and saw all the plain of the Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of Yahweh, like the land of Egypt, as you go to Zoar. So Lot chose the plain of the Jordan for himself. Lot traveled east, and they separated themselves from one another. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, and Lot lived in the cities of the plain, and moved his tent as far as Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinners against Yahweh. They alternate between Sodom and Sodom. I don't know which one's more correct. I do recognize the Jordan River. That's a real life river. Allegedly. Yahweh said to Abram after Lot was separated from him, "Now lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are." Oh, sorry, this is Yahweh. "Now lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward, for I will give all the land which you see to you and to your offspring forever. I will make your offspring as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can count the dust of the earth, then your offspring may also be counted." The dust of the earth is always changing in number, but there's always more dust than people. People make dust. A lot of dust is dead skin. This don't make no stinking sense. "Arise, walk through the land in its length and its width, for I will give it to you." Not like that, sorry. Abram moved his tent and came and lived by the oaks of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and built an altar there to Yahweh. So they're complaining that the world is getting overcrowded, even though Yahweh had just scattered everyone and everywhere, and there should be like plenty of land for everybody. Maybe y'all shouldn't have so many fucking kids if it's getting that crowded, you know? Maybe you got enough people? But no, it's the land that can't bear them, for their possessions were so great that they couldn't live together. Get rid of some possessions! I don't know, what do you need? How much land did you claim? And so Lot has moved to Sodom, and Abram has moved to Hebron, which God has promised to him and all his offspring forever. Why? Why not? It's God. Fuck you. So now for Genesis chapter 13 in the King James Version. "And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar which he had make there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right, or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. Why? God says so. Right, but like what specific things were they doing that we should not do? What specific things were they doing that upset the Lord so greatly? Maybe we'll find out later. And the Lord said unto Abram after that Lot was separated from him, Lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent, and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. So that was chapter 13. We get some little hints about Sodom and Gomorrah, little hints about what God actually fucking wants and what he doesn't want. Abram and Lot have split ways. Lot, it seems like, is going for a nice fertile river land to, I don't know, grow his family, I guess. But, like, you're just gonna run out of space again if you're just growing forever. Like, what is your goal? No one has a clearly defined motivation or goal. Makes it a little hard to relate to everybody. It really comes across like a really old-timey fairy tale that's just so separate from modern, like, consciousness. That's such a different way of thinking that it's not relatable. Like, the reason we don't think like this anymore is because we know better. We've seen better. It's been 2,000 years. Not since this book was written. This is Genesis. But I guess the takeaway is that the Lord is promising a certain land to Abram and his descendants forever, and that Abram will flood the world with his babies. Cool. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time for chapter 14. Who knows what atrocity will happen next?